If this doesn't work, we'll probably just start talking and we'll just do it down there instead. All right, well, I think, sorry about this, I'm going to have to go without a presentation. But basically what I'd like to do is introduce MyCare, which is an online portal for validated patient-reported outcomes. Why is that important? Well, the NHS should be providing care that's safe, effective and responsive to patient needs. But it can't do that unless we're listening to patients. Now you might say, well, we're already listening to patients. We've got patient-captured data in NHS Choices, the Friends and Family Test. But the problem is they're not capturing data. They're not collecting people's data. They're collecting people's trash. Because if you look at what's on there, there was a BBC News website article that said that on one page on NHS Choices, 49% of responses were from staff IT accounts. So, you know, there's no data validation. If it's not validated data, it's not really helpful. It doesn't help us. So what we want to do, we want to make everything in the NHS better by capturing data that's actually from patients and it's validated. So here's our tool. It's called MyCare. So what we can do is you put in anonymized data. So we capture the bare minimum amount of data. So it's not our personally identifiable. You just put in the site of care. You can put in your age, the date of the procedure, and a partial postcode. So none of that's personally identifiable data. But what it does do is it creates enough data so we can match it to an actual clinical encounter. So it's a data source, so we can look at, for example, the HES data for admissions to hospital, and then what we can do is we can verify that, yes, a clinical encounter did actually happen on that day. And so there you see what we're doing. So that's sort of non-person identifiable data gets sent off to HES. We get GMC number, find the procedure, and then the patient gets the chance to rate the encounter. So this is a validated scale, it's a PGIC. You can either do it sort of with radio buttons, or there's a visual analog slider as well. You can also put in something, provide constructive feedback about your consultant. So for example, you can say, consultant, yeah, great for us, what did I like?
1 minute.
Try, what could I have done better? Tag in your RSA. Okay. Moving on. So if we just then look at what we get at the end of that. So yeah, and then click on OK, and then here's an example of what you can get. So patient-reported outcomes can be very, very powerful. So here you can get, like for example, you've got consultants' outcomes, and you can compare it to other people at the same site, compare it nationally, you can benchmark consultants. You can look at outcomes for procedures. So for example, what the outcomes for the shoulder procedure, that could feed into something like, you know, the the balance tool that we had. Here's a summary of the screen text comments and what people said about the consultant. You know, something like the ratings for the consultant could feed into the local agency. So there's huge potential. It's a small tool with big ambitions to make everything that NHS a bit better. Thank you. Any questions? No, because it's age, it's not date of birth, so all of the individual bits there, none of that counts as personally identifiable data. If you put them together, yeah, but we wouldn't be storing that. We just use it to query.
I mean, patients would have to hope you weren't storing this.
Sorry?
Patients would have to hope that you're not storing this.
Okay, but I mean, we tell them, then we wouldn't.
So you tell them that it's only for validation, that nobody would ever go back and say, you give bad feedback that's going to affect your care.
Absolutely. And that just provides a bit of reassurance as well. So, you know, if I was putting in just, you know, my age in those fields, I probably wouldn't feel that I'd probably feel happy about submitting and feeling that it was anomaly.
Okay. But the validation is important because you're worried that people are faking these systems.
Well, we know they are. We know they are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.